Hey, good evening, good morning, good afternoon, depending upon which place you have joined this session from. I must say that we were not expecting so many people. The response that we have got for this topic is simply amazing. Here is a warm welcome to all those who have joined this session on a very important topic, remembering the forgotten God and falling in love with that supreme power. Friends, we are going through very difficult times. On one side, we have a threat that we cannot see with our eyes in the form of corona. It has become a threat worldwide. On one side, there are people who are claiming that humans, in spite of all the advancements, whether it is scientific, medical, or technological, in spite of all of these, we are still very weak. We are still very vulnerable and very susceptible to unknown threats. And we are yet to discover many things. Friends, today I would just like to remind you that humans are the strongest creatures. If you go back in history, say 150 years back, people used to travel either on horse or camels or bullocks or some other animals, right? And that point of time, the steam engine, the locomotive engine was invented, and we were having means of transport using these locomotive engines. It was amazing for people. They were very surprised, very shocked to see that there are machines. You just go and sit. There is a person who operates that machine, and that machine takes you from one place to another, right? Comfortably. At that point of time, if someone would have said that 150 years down the line, there would be a device which will fit in your palm, right? And you will dial in some numbers in the device, and then sitting in India, you could talk to someone, say, as far as in USA, which at least is, right, 12,000 kilometers at least, and that too within few seconds. People at that point of time would not have believed you. They might have laughed at you, they might have mocked you, right? But here we are today. Mobile is just one of the inventions that humans have made. I mean, there are many, many more, right? So humans are definitely strong, very strong creatures. But it's also true at the same time that we have also become weak. And do you know when do we become weak? It's when we start thinking ourselves as the strongest creatures, right? And that we are self-sufficient, and that there are no other realities in life, right? It's at this time, dear friends, we become totally materialistic, right? And it's then we start taking ourselves from the actual reality. We start taking ourselves very far from this reality, and we start living in a virtual world. That's where we become, you know, the most weak. This happens when we detach ourselves from the supreme power, the one who is the most strongest, the one who has created us all, the one who has created the skies, the earth on which we are currently stationed, and also has created the entire universe. The supreme power, my dear friends, has also created these many microorganisms, the bacteria, the viruses, right, that we cannot see with our naked eyes. Friends, from birth to life, right? This is our typical life cycle, isn't it? During our early years, we are very busy getting formal education and getting ourselves admitted to good universities to get good jobs or to set up good businesses. Then most of us get married, keep ourselves busy securing the future of our kids, building a home for our family, paying EMIs, etc. Right? Our kids grow up, we become old, and one day we finally leave this world. These are important things, my dear friend. Don't mistake me. I'm not saying that we should not be doing them. They are very important. We all must do them. But the important question is life all about this? Or are there more realities? Very critical, very important realities that we are missing in this entire cycle. Generally, we don't get time, or probably we don't feel motivated, isn't it, to think about our Creator. What is the purpose of us coming to this world? Is it just a coincidence or chance? What happens after we die? Where do we go after our death? My dear friends, why do we miss to ask these questions to ourselves? These are such important questions. And thereby, we totally forget the purpose of our life and also that there is a creator. Friends, some people say that it's the mother nature, isn't it? From which we use everything. and we go back to this mother nature. Though it's true that it's the mother nature that has supplied us with many things, the air that we breathe, the vegetables that we eat, right, the minerals using which we make the cars, we make the devices, we make the utensils, right? But dear friends, remember that the domain that we live in that domain, for every creator, for every creation, there is a creator, isn't it? Currently, you are attending to this session from either a mobile or a computer. And do you know that precisely these mobiles and the computers, someone has created them? Some companies have created them. It could be Samsung, Apple, MI, HP, Dell, Nokia, etc., etc., isn't it? The fans, the electric bulbs, the homes that we live in, the cars, and the bikes that take us from one place to another have all been manufactured by some companies. Dear friends, Mother Nature is also part of the same domain that we live in. How is it then possible that Mother Nature, which is a very sophisticated, very complicated, right? Such a huge system has come into existence on its own, and that there is no creator of this Mother Nature. In the next few minutes, dear friends, I'm going to share some very interesting facts with you about things that are around us, about things that are within us. We all are aware about the vastness of the universe. Estimates say that there are 300 billion galaxies. Each galaxy, right, in turn contains billions of stars, right? Roughly around 300 billions of stars in each galaxy. So just imagine 300 billion galaxies, and within each galaxy, billions of stars. One of these stars is the sun, which has planets rotating around it in great harmony without touching each other, right? And all of us live on one such planet called Earth, right? So important question to ask is, are these bodies such a huge system? There is no creator of them. Have these all been randomly arranged? Or there is a great designer behind this marvelous design? Friends, when we sit at our home, we think that probably we alone are there along with our families, right? But did you notice there are bacteria living on us, outside our body and within our body, and they're constantly protecting us, and also occasionally they cause us to become ill. There are fungi that begin reproducing on our foods left out in the open in our kitchen, even for a few hours, isn't it? Dear friends, all of these constitute a different world altogether. They have their own sophisticated system, they have their own nutritional systems. According to one study, it has been calculated, that just half an acre, I'm repeating, only half an acre of farm soil that you see contains several tons of living bacteria, around 1 ton of fungi, around 50 kg of yeast, and around 50 kg of algae, right? All of these in just about half an acre of soil. Now just imagine, there are acres and acres, right? Lakhs of acres of land available on Earth. So how many of such microorganisms might be existing? People imagine that these creatures, right, many of which are invisible to our naked eye, are basically very simple entities and are therefore unaware of their powerful abilities. Dear friends, these unseen creatures are hugely complex, and to describe each one of them will take days together or probably months together. This is not unknown to most of us, right? In fact, all of us know about this. Before we were born, all human beings, including me, including yourself, including everyone who's watching this video currently. This also includes the prime ministers of the countries, right? The presidents of the countries. Every human being on earth, right? They all spend 9 months in their mother's womb. At the beginning of the development, what are humans? Just a tiny collection of cells, right? Which are just starting to divide and develop. And remember, the mother who's carrying the baby does not actually do anything, right? So the cells develop on their own, the cells divide on their own to form the organs, right? So there is a perfect pump which we call as heart, right? Which around 3 months of time starts beating. And this heart has a very important responsibility. In fact, the most important responsibility. That is Along with the circulation system, it pumps the blood to the entire parts of the body, from our eyes to our toes to our fingers, isn't it? This way, heart takes blood to 100 trillion cells which are in our body. And dear friends, each one of these 100 trillion cells is as alive as we are, right? So now the important question is, who establishes this entire system that comprises us and which keeps us alive? More importantly, dear friends, what have you done or what have I done to ensure the existence of this important system that gives us life? There was absolutely nothing we could have done to form such a system, right? Because even before I was born, even before you were born, even before we opened our eyes, we began living according to a body that was prepared for us. I did not tell, let my nose be like this, let it be sharp or let it be blunt. Let my eyebrows be like this, isn't it? Dense or not dense. I did not dictate anything. I got a body, you got a body, and we started living that body. Your body was prepared for you and for me in a very flawless manner. Did you also notice that while we were in the womb, it was not required for us to breathe, but the respiratory system that is required for us to breathe once we come out of the mother's womb, it was also getting developed. Our digestive system was getting developed so that when we come out, we can digest a variety of foods. So our body came ready-made, dear friends, with many features. Should we pause it for a few seconds and not think about who created those? Who fashioned them while we were in the mother's womb? It is God, my dear friends, who created these systems for us. It is God who created these systems for everyone, whether that person is a rich or a poor, whether he is the prime minister of a country or he's an ordinary worker, right? It is God who placed these systems for us, and he gave us the body which works in the most flawless manner. Almighty God created the same perfect systems in all human beings who have ever lived, right? Ever lived. Go back in the history, right from the first human on the earth till everyone who's currently today, the same perfect system was at work. And it is also currently working in billions of humans who are living today in the world. Whether you are an Indian or you are an American, right? Or you're an African or an Arab, an Australian, whether you speak any language, English, Hindi, Tamil, Telugu, etc., etc., right? We all have the same system, my dear friends. And nobody made it for themselves. I repeat, these systems, nobody made it for themselves. From Einstein to Donald Trump to our own Prime Minister to the poorest people on the earth, nobody made it for themselves. They all received it. As you know, dear friends, these all systems, these all organs, they all came to us free of cost. We paid nothing for it. The air that we breathe is also free of cost. God forbid if something happens to us tomorrow, right? We get admitted to the emergency department of the hospital. Do you know how much the hospital charges for supplying air? That time you will realize that the air we have been breathing right from the day we have born till this day, it's all have been free. The eyes, the kidneys, everything that we have received is free. Friends, I now want to draw your attention to a very important thing, the feelings of love and care that each one of us have. We all love and care our kids. We love our parents, our siblings, and we care for our fellow humans. We care for the animals and for our environment. An important question, friends, to ask is, how do we get these feelings of love and care? What is the source of such feelings, right? Our entire family system is based on these feelings and for feeling responsible. This is very important because the world is at peace precisely because of these feelings. Else there would have been a lot of disturbance and a lot of chaos. Friends, it is very logical to believe that someone who has created us, right, he has also given us such feelings and is also the source of such feelings. And God, my dear friends, has these things in abundance, right? Mathematically, if I call it, he has the feelings of love in infinity. We all know and give examples of the love of a mother that she has towards her child, be it the mother of humans or of animals. Even for smallest things, the mother is ready to risk her life, right? So that nothing harms her child. If God, it is God, my friends, who has given such feelings and emotions to our mothers. And it is said in our divine books, and unfortunately, today we do not have sufficient time to go in detail covering some important things in the divine books, but I'll just quote them quickly, right? God says He loves us all thousands of times than the mother loves ourselves. Isn't it such a great thing, such an amazing thing? Someone who has created everything. You have seen the galaxies and you have seen the minutest things from bacteria to viruses. You have seen our own human system. Someone who is so great, so perfect that he created everything says that he loves us individually, all of us, thousands of times that our mother loves us. So friends, we love our parents, because we are indebted to them. They gave us birth, they took care of us, gave a lot of sacrifices for us. And why do we forget to then love the same God, who has created everyone, including our parents? Friends, in our holy scriptures, God also says, I am closer to you than you are closer to yourself. God also says, take one step towards me and I'll come running towards you. But for that to happen, you have to take the first steps towards me. My dear friends, the reason for counting all these blessings is that our Creator has, that the Creator has given us, is to remind us all about such a lovely God, whom unfortunately we forget most of the time because we have been very busy in our lives. So start experiencing the God, my dear friends. You will see how the life will change for better. You will feel blessed, and the life will then start looking extremely interesting, extremely lovable, and extremely easy. But friends, remember an important thing. Loving God is just not about recognizing and remembering Him. Yes, these are very important things. This is where the journey starts, right? But it is also about obeying His commands and being honest in our actions. Today, you are aware that the virus has put so many people in trouble, especially those people who do not have more than a few days of saving, right? Which has very fast run out and they are stuck there without food in many parts of the country, right? So it is important for us to put some effort, find such people, donate whatever we could, especially in our surroundings, and make sure that those people have the basic necessities of life. They have food to eat, and if possible, if they have at least temporary sheds to live in. So God wants us to take care of each other, right? And especially take care of those people who are poor and who are also in need. Dear friends, I'm almost coming towards the conclusion of this session. When generally I take these sessions, typically we ask these three questions, right? And believe me, you get very interesting answers. Unfortunately, I've been given very less time today for this session, and therefore we will not have this interactive, but I'm going to cover each, the answers to these questions in very briefly, right? So first important questions: how many number of gods do we have, right? As I said, if I have opened this for audience, you would have got some interesting answers. Friends, a country needs one single prime minister, isn't it? The prime minister is the final person who takes decision. A bus has a single driver, right? Yes, a prime minister can have his cabinet. He can have a finance minister, a defense minister, a home minister, etc. Because a prime minister cannot take care of everything. A prime minister is also a human. He needs other people to assist him or her. But friends, why does God cannot do all of this alone? To run the entire universe, to send the rain down to earth, to take care of us, to love us. Is God weak that He cannot do all these things together? That's why He needs multiple gods? No, my dear friends. God is only one, right? And as I said earlier, we do not have sufficient time to cover what our books have been saying on this. You start from the Ved to the Bible to the Quran. Everywhere you will see all these books are shouting and telling us, appealing us, giving us facts, even appealing us by bringing forth the emotions. They're all saying that God is one, right? Ekam Brahm Dutya Nasti, right? That God is only one. In Arabic it says Qul huwallahu ahad. Say that God is only one. Now the second important question, what is the exact name of God? Is the name of God Brahma, the creator? Or is the name of God Vishnu, the nourisher? Or is the name of God simply the God? Or is the name of God the Allah? Right? The Allah in Arabic means the God. What is the actual name of God? Again, if this question was open on a forum, we could have got some very interesting answers. Dear friends, I would like to quote one important mantra from the Ved, which even our Prime Minister, I have heard him quoting many times. Ekam sadvipraha bahuda vadanti. God is one, but people call him by many names, right? You might call God as Brahma, which means the creator. Yes, of course, God is the creator. Well, there are other creators as well. An artist creates his own cartoons, right? Someone else makes pottery, right? So there are creators, but God is the final creator. He is the most perfect creator who has created everything. There is no flaw in his creation, right? So all beautiful names in their infinite sense belong to God. Feel free to call him Brahma, feel free to call him Vishnu, feel free to call him Shiva, feel free to call him God, feel free to call him Allah, feel free to call him Rahman, right? Whatever you want, call that God. But when you call him, make sure that you do not bring any picture of the God, right? God is infinite. God has everything infinite. We cannot capture him in human made sculptures or human made paintings or human made, anything, any description, right? And this is not me that who's saying, right? All our books are testimony to that. All our books say that there is no shape of God. So when you call God, make sure you call him by any name, doesn't matter, any beautiful name, right? But think him as the infinite power, the infinite everything who cannot be seen with our eyes. Another important question, are there any specific time and place when I remember God? Dear friends, there is no such time, right? Some people pray to God or try to connect to God in the morning and in the evening. Some people pray to him 5 times a day, right? But believe me, the highest state to achieve is when we take God with ourselves every time. 24/7 we should be feeling the presence of God. That is the final state, and that's when we become a saint, right? That's when probably you might be grounded on earth, but you will be roaming around somewhere in the skies, right? But that's not a very easy thing to do. So what we generally suggest is you try to remember God at least few minutes every day. Try this for few days. Some people have said that it has worked for them after having tried it for a few weeks, or some said it has worked probably in 1 to 2 months. Try this for this time, and then you will realize that the changes that it brings in yourself, right? The power, the spiritual and mental power that you will start feeling in. Finally, friends, after the session or when you get time in the evening or before you go to bed, make sure that you give 10 minutes for yourself, right? Find a place which is very peaceful, where there is no disturbance. Nobody is allowed, right? Even your own kids, your parents, nobody from the family as well. Try to have a place, such a peaceful place, for just 10 minutes, and cut yourself from everything, from the meetings in the office that you might be having tomorrow, from worries of paying the EMI, from the stock market crash that is currently happening, right? From the political discussion that you are involved in, from the worries of your families, everything, right? Just don't think anything for these 10 minutes. Again, I say it's not easy. If you're not able to do it, it's okay. Practice this few times, practice this many times, and you will be able to do that, right? So in these 10 minutes, try to connect with the God. Start these 10 minutes by remembering God, by thanking him for all the things that he has given you, right from your birth till now, that you are alive, you are healthy, you're still able to breathe, you're still able to contribute, you're still able to earn something for your family, right? Start by thanking God on these things, and then start a private conversation. right? Do this for some time, and we are sure you'll see the change in yourself. Yeah, finally, some important sessions are coming up next, so stay tuned. People were also asking about me, who's the presenter. So here is a quick introduction about me. My name is Taha. I'm a software architect with one of the prominent IT companies. Apart from work, I really enjoy and really I feel myself concerned about the materialistic lives that most of us are living. So I work on also educating people on some of the divine things. I'm very also happy to let you know that we have a small team who do a lot of research in on all these divine books, starting from the Ved, all the four Vedas, to the Bible, to the Quran, to the teachings of Guru Nanak, to the teachings of Basavanna, to the teachings of even Buddha, right? So, and we take important things from these and try to educate people. That not only serves as a unifying factor among the citizens of this country, but it also makes them mentally and spiritually strong. I'm hoping that you have benefited from this session and you will stay tuned for the future ones. With this, I'm concluding today's session. Have a good week. Have a blessed week ahead. Thank you.